Mass shootings in America. In an article by the Massachusetts Medical Society in September 27th, 2018, they stated that 17 people were shot and killed on Valentine's Day 2018, and another 17 were wounded at Major Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida. The shooter, a former student in the school, had many credible threats of violence against schools and students for years, during this time which he illegally purchased the AR-15 style rifle that he used on Valentine's Day. This was a tragic event and is considered as one of the major mass shootings in the past years in America. Mass shootings in America are a problem, and that can be resolved, or at best can be worked to decrease the rates. So let's look at some of the problems that stand for mass shootings today. In an article by the Journal of Social Service Research on April 16, 2021, they stated that from August 1966 through the end of 2019, there were 174 mass shootings in the United States, with mass shootings defined as 4 or more persons killed, possibly including the shooters. To the incident at the same general time and location. A total of 1,237 people were killed in these events, with 1,871 wounded. And in another article by the Journal of Crime and Justice on September 21st, 2018, they stated that although these events were relatively rare 40 years ago, mass shootings, the total number of mass shootings increased from only 8 during the 1970s to about 115 in the current decade, as of the year 2015. And that rate has jumped up to 30% since. In the last article by the Congressional Digestmere in May 2021, they stated that according to the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, annual gun deaths increased 25% between 2010 and 2019, where men were killed by firearms. Roughly 60% of those were suicides. The reported gun violence has estimated more than 19,000 Americans were killed to gun violence in 2020. Now let's view some of the causes for these amounts of mass shootings. In an article by the Elsevier Limited on August 7, 2019, they stated that the shooters are often facing a psychological problem. The epidemic of nearly every mass shooting of the U.S. is a man. In the forensic unpacking, the shared characteristic of shooters is misogyny, alienation, and hate energy. And this leads to them looking to cause violence, which they also cause mass shootings. And in another article by Spring Nature BV on November 2019, they stated that as of late 2017, there were an estimated 393 million guns in the US, representing 47% of all global civilian firearms. And at the time, there was an average of less than 1 million monthly federal background checks carried throughout the early 2000s. Now, what is the solution to this problem of mass shooters? Well, the article by Harvest Magazine Media on March 2019, they stated that most Americans favor common sense gun reform, and polls have shown that 97% of Americans support universal background checks. And in another article by the Economic Policy on April 2021, they stated that they did a paper on they did a study on Brazil and how the gun control has affected their violence, and they stated that this paper studies the effects of legislation in Brazil that banned the right to carry guns and provided for a for a vote again regarding whether to ban the sale of all firearms using regression this county this county design. They found that gun-relation homicides decreased around 12.2%, and gunshot wounds were intended to where they were intended to kill decreased by 16.3%, with the reduction of the with the foremost of gun violence being African American males in the area. And in conclusion, mass shootings are a growing threat in America that is harming citizens, and raising bans on gun control, especially to carry a firearm, would help, as we saw in the study in Brazil. And most Americans are ready for it. It just needs to be implemented.